Hello, beautiful ones. I'm celebrating today because I made a lot of people cry this weekend. This might sound awful, but I do. I celebrate the tears because most of them were because of breakthroughs. Most of the tears were stagnant energy moving, or the tears of connections being made where people were just moved, sometimes feeling old pain, sorrow, sadness, and other times feeling the joy of connection. Oh my gosh. If you haven't caught any of these lives before, you might not know I've just been facilitating inside this elemental prosperity masterclass that I did. And the whole premise was to be sharing codes from Gaia and the elements, so the earth herself, that consciousness of the planet, I work with her directly, and also the elemental forces of creation for way showers, light leaders, people who feel like they're here to be the change on the planet, to receive their next level abundance and prosperity codes so that they can have the income and the abundance consciousness needed to actually have the money to create the impact that they're here to create, right? Because in this world, it does take money to do things, to make things, to create things. Money's not a bad word, right? Money, but prosperity in all forms and abundance in all forms are what we were being recoded to receive at a higher level inside this masterclass. And my facilitation style is to take people into a sacred space, one that we literally call in. I like to create this bubble, this pocket outside of time and space that we can meet, regardless of whether we are meeting live, like some people are watching me live here. Tracy's just saying the masterclass is amazing. You can confirm you cried a lot. Thank you for that confirmation. That'd be such a weird thing for me to lie about if I was like, if that wasn't true. I don't know why that thought came to me, but I like the confirmation. I actually have a lot of trouble lying. Truth is so important to me. So it's weird that thought occurred to me. And I'm like, but could someone lie about that? Like their students were crying, but like actually everybody was totally sober and like dry faced. That's a tangent. But here's the thing. When I facilitate, I want to do it in a sacred space that feels like it is a bubble, a pocket outside of our regular reality. I like to bring people deeply into their body, but then into this energetic bubble that I know how to create. And inside that bubble, we ask for tangible, visceral, physicalized experiences. So they're like undeniable. So people can feel the energy themselves. So it's not just me talking at people. Because, I mean, I could talk forever. You know I do. This 365 live challenge has been no problem because talking is easy for me. I'm a voice activation coach, so I'm pretty good at speaking for now. But words are only such a small part of it. They're so powerful. You can transmit so much energy with words. But when people feel energy themselves, sometimes for the first time, or maybe just in a more profound way because we're co-creating it together and all of our energetic fields are working together to create something very tangible and physical, the shifts and changes that can happen, the clearings, the healings, the release, the activations, the transformations are palpable. And so when I take people into these spaces as a guide and a space holder, they get to have an experience that they feel in their body. And that stays with people so much longer than if I were just to give them a talk and leave it at that, just sharing the knowledge. I want people to have experiences that they can then digest and then turn into wisdom. Oh my gosh, Jessica's saying, Lord knows I've had my share of crying sessions with me, and that always leads to massive breakthroughs and upheavals. Yeah. So we are so taught in our society, and men more so than women, but we're taught that that tears are something we should only do either in private or not at all. Like, don't cry. People get so uncomfortable with tears. They'll hand you a box of tissues and be like, oh, don't cry. We train our kids not to cry. And the thing about tears is that they are such a gift. The chemical composition of tears actually changes whether you're crying for sadness, sorrow, grief, anger, frustration, happiness, joy, right? It literally is a way for our body to release the chemicals, like the hormones and the chemical molecular structure of the feelings that we are physically having in our body. It allows those feelings to move. And when we do that, it creates space. And the space lets energy start to flow again. And it offers these upheavals, like Jessica's saying, but there's so much available to us from that space being created, right? The energy moving through tears is something that I will never get tired of honoring, celebrating. Like, my heart explodes when people are crying in my sessions, whether it's one-on-one or with a group program, because it allows me to, it's just like this feedback going like, okay, first off, I have been successful in creating a space that feels safe enough for people to have those emotions move and flow, but also it's because they're connecting into something, right? And I know that there's going to be a breakthrough on the other side of the breakdown if it's like tears of frustration, sadness, grief, sorrow moving. But I also love when people are just overcome with emotion from the love and support that comes in our sessions as well. In the masterclass, and in many of my classes, when we call in that sacred space, we bring in rings of support of the unseen. And sometimes the ones that we can see, if people have, sight, clairvoyance, they might see this stuff too, but they can feel the energy. We had luminous ancestors coming in and celebrating everyone. We had, let me just stop there. That moved a lot of people to tears too, because the ancestors were like, hey, thank you for being here and for being the living embodiment of their work and their dreams, and also being the one willing to take it further. Because everyone that was in there is a way shower, a healer, a helper, a teacher in some way. Those are the people that came to that particular masterclass, and the ancestors were loving so hard. It was like they were doing a Care Bear stare, and we could feel it. And I have felt that energy many times before, but it oftentimes moves me to tears, because it is like being hugged while you are being supported and nurtured and cared for and loved all at the same time, right? It's oftentimes for people as well who have felt so alone for so long, this profound sense of connection that they can't deny, because it's physical. It's not like somebody just saying, your ancestors are with you, and somebody going, yeah, sure, but where are they? No, in this space, we feel it. It is so clear, and you can't make that kind of feeling up. And that's why it is so important for me to create those spaces where people can literally feel the support that's all around them. We receive that support from different elements, from the earth herself, from like all of these different animals, from star nations. Like, we were so supported. There were trees. The mycelial network of like the fungus that's on the planet was sharing their support and love too. And it was just so amazing. And it just changes you when you feel that. It changes you from feeling like you are this separate individual who is existing in their own bubble all alone. And it allows you to know how connected we all are and how much support is available to us when we're open enough to receive it. We make sure we come into a space of relaxation in the body so we can feel it, because if the shields are up, like I often talk about, if our nervous system is activated, the support, the feelings, they can't get in because you're just like, red alert, nobody can come into my space, I might be hurt. So there are processes and things that we need to do to be able to come into that space of feeling the connection. But when we do drop the defenses and we come into that sacred space of connection, it changes you. And I'm talking like on the emotional level. Obviously you feel the supported. It changes the belief systems that you have, because maybe you're going like, I'm alone and nobody loves me, and then you feel it. So suddenly your belief systems are shifted. And it changes you in the energetic sense. It also changes your body to feel that support and that nurturing, and there can be a relaxation, and you feel held, and that relaxation amplifies all of the possibilities and the magic, because again, it helps you keep the shields down instead of putting them up. So on all levels and layers, it shifts us, and it can often spark soul remembrance as well. And then people wind up having, as I'm describing these experiences, all kinds of beautiful visions, all kinds of incredible interactions, some of which I'm able to speak out loud because I get to be the tour guide, and like I can narrate it and I can kind of see what's happening for the group, but then other people have other things coming in, and it's so validating. There were people that were like, oh man, I was seeing things before you were saying them, and then you were saying them, and I'm like, yeah, this is the magic, because it was really happening. We were having this beautiful sacred experience together, and the tears flow, the tears come, the tears of joy, the tears of, oh my gosh, I feel the energy of spirit. It's so profound. Jessica's saying, I never used to cry in front of people, but every program and container I've been with you has felt so safe that even if I tried to hold the tears or emotion in my body, I just go ahead and release what needs to be released. Oh, because of that deep-seated feeling, safety and support. It's so, so powerful. It is my honor to be able to do that. I appreciate every time that you feel that energy move in you. It's so beautiful to witness. And I too also would never cry in front of people. I had a hyper independent trauma response as a kid, and I was always okay. I was fine. But I didn't feel the feelings. And then I had to go through the process of feeling them and unlocking them as an adult, right? It's a whole reprogramming of our way of being that we get to do. Tracy's saying that connection was so profound for me. I felt and still feel more connected and loved than I've ever felt in my life. Oh my gosh, yay! Falling off my bean chair in celebration. Tracy, I'm so, so happy to hear that. See, this is why I love doing what I'm doing so much, because everything changes when you feel supported. Everything changes when you feel like you're not alone anymore. And I know what it feels like to feel that aloneness. And I know what it feels like to feel that connection. And it just creates the possibility for the magic that is always around us to suddenly be accessed. So I am celebrating that. And if you feel like you want to be able to bring more of these kinds of experiences into your work, perhaps you're a coach, a teacher, a healer, a practitioner, a workshop facilitator, you want to do retreats, things like that. I want to let you know that this is something that I didn't just know. I practiced and I learned and I tried things out, and I've had so many guides, and then I've also been able to tap into my intuition to be able to create these spaces. And I do teach people how to do this. So if you feel like it is on your heart to bring these kinds of transformational experiences that are physicalized to people and let them feel the energy of connection, connecting in with their intuition, the earth with the all that is, with all of creation, I do have a certification program that teaches right from the very first steps all the way up into how to create a business doing this kind of thing. And you can also apply it to your own niche, right? It doesn't have to be specifically the kinds of things that I do. But I honestly know, like without a shadow of a doubt, that this is one of the ways that we can heal the planet. It's by creating these transformational spaces for people to have these profound experiences of connection. And it's healing. It raises people out of separation and scarcity and up into the frequencies of abundance consciousness, right? Because that's where the magic is possible, right? When people no longer feel like they're separate, but they know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're supported and they're not alone. And you can start to tap into those higher frequencies, and then your manifestation, your creation, the possibilities just expand, and they're endless. And this is how we can support the planet. It's one of the ways, it's how I am here to support the planet, is to empower people to do this in my one-on-one work, but then also to ripple it out more widely and teach people how to do this too. So if you're interested, shoot me a message or check out the link that is just posted above or below, depending on where you're watching this, for the certification program. It's for people who are already working in these fields as a coach, healer, practitioner, facilitator, teacher, guide, whatever you want to call yourself. The words are never going to be exactly the right words because it's so multidimensional. Or if you're feeling like it's on your heart to do this. Jessica is in the program, and we're going to meet on our next call, working with the element of fire in our business in just a few minutes. So I am going to just leave you with this. It is possible to transmit knowledge just through words, and also having the physical experience, the embodied experiences, just takes it to the next level. So if you haven't checked out these beautiful transmissions in the Elemental Prosperity Masterclass, that link I'll put in here as well. And you can go and you can watch the replays, and they'll be just as profound. If you feel like you're ready to be activated into that next level of support, connection, and abundance, that is the place you want to be. I'll keep sharing more codes and more reflections from the workshops in these lives, and I can't wait to welcome in the next cohort of people that will be training to become these divine sacred energy facilitators. And yeah, Jess, I hope I'll be able to see you in class if you're not working, and I will see the rest of you tomorrow in the next live. Have a beautiful rest of your day. All my love.